Well, today is All Hallows Eve, or more commonly known now as Halloween, and perhaps time to ask if the Catholic Church has an official doctrine on ghosts. Father Chris Alar from the National Shrine of the Divine Mercy says, are ghosts not only real, but they also appear in the Bible? Douglas Beaumont from Catholic Answers also examines this question. He says that many Christians attribute ghosts to either natural phenomenon or demonic activity, but are these the only two options? And Douglas Beaumont joins us now. He is an author, theologian, and contributor to Catholic Answers. Dr. Beaumont, great to be with you today. Quickly tell us where the word ghost comes from. I understand it has roots from Old English as well as a little bit of German, too.
Yeah, it comes from the word Geist. You might have heard the term Zeitgeist, or the spirit of the time. So Geist refers to spirit. It's something that is basically just opposed to the physical, and that's gotten into our language as ghost.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, ghosts appear in a few places in the Bible, both in the Old and the New Testament. Can you give us some examples of that?
Yeah, so the prophet Samuel was raised by the witch of Endor, which seemed kind of a shock to her. So there's a good chance she was, just kind of a sham artist before that. But Onias also appears to Judas Maccabeus. And then in the New Testament, of course, we have Moses and Elijah appearing with Jesus, and this is before the resurrection. So another interesting story is that when the apostles see Jesus walking on the water, they think he's a ghost. There's other times when he's mistaken for a ghost, and he doesn't correct anybody. He never says, oh, ghosts aren't real. What are you talking about? He just merely says, no, come feel me. I'm physical. So it doesn't seem like the idea of ghosts appearing to people is an anti-biblical idea.
Yeah, and I understand there was maybe at least a slight disagreement on the existence of ghosts between two major church figures. Tell us a little bit more about that. What happened between St. Augustine and St. Thomas Aquinas?
Yeah, so Augustine's writings seem to indicate that he's usually trying to find either some sort of quasi-natural or maybe even demonic explanation for ghostly visits, whereas Aquinas was very firmly in the camp that ghosts can exist, that there's nothing problematic with theology or the Bible with the appearance of ghosts. And so he kind of re-explained St. Augustine's answer respectfully as referring to the natural, normal course of events. In other words, we shouldn't be walking around expecting there to be ghosts appearing all the time, rather than a hardline stance against their possibility.
Yeah, and you've studied the faith for a long time, many, many decades. What do you think? I mean, are ghosts natural? Is it something demonic? What do you think it is?
Well, I think we have to separate just the mere idea of a ghost from the phenomena that is often attributed to ghosts. The second question is a lot more difficult. I think as far as Christian theology and philosophy goes, there's really no problem at all with the idea that a ghost could exist. I mean, we know that we are bodily souls when we are alive, and when we're dead, our consciousness and everything remains in existence in the soul, even though it's apart from the body. And there isn't really anything philosophically or biblically wrong with the idea that that soul could appear back in life. So really the question is just whether or not it can happen, whether or not God can allow it. Unfortunately, we don't really have revelation on this, and so the church has remained fairly speculative. But it seems like across cultures and even throughout church history, the idea that spirits can appear on earth of those that are deceased isn't a problem. God can allow it. Aquinas even said they could do it at will, except that they're usually so busy that they just don't. So when we consider the fact that ghosts could exist, then if we have some kind of paranormal type phenomena and we're not sure what it is, we don't really want to write any possibility off. It could be God, it could be angels, it could be fallen angels, it could be ghosts. So at that point, it's really more about how we react. We should be praying for the souls of the dead, as we already do, and we don't need to react as if every paranormal activity is demonic.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Beaumont, for being on. We appreciate it. God bless.
Great to be on, Tracy. Thank you.